Hello my book besties and welcome back to another TBR video. Today we are going to be picking out our April TBR, which I'm so excited about because I actually had a really good reading month in March, and so far March has been my best reading month. I will be posting a March reading wrap up, so stay tuned for that, but I just really hope my good reading carries over from March to April as well, so fingers crossed. But with that all being said, let's hope the TBR jar prompts pick out some really good books for the April TBR. Let's pick out our first reading prompt for April. A book that's been on a previous TBR. Both of these books were on my March TBR, but I didn't get to reading these in March. So we've got Rules in Love by Bindi Kennedy, which is book 1 in the West Village book. And then we've got Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter, which is the sequel to Better Than the Movies, and we're still following Liz and Wes, but in college. I'm kind of leaning more towards reading Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. I'm really excited to get into it, a little bit nervous because I really loved the first book and I didn't even think there was going to be a sequel that came out for it, but here it is, Nothing Like the Movies, and I'm really excited because I feel like Lynn Painter just captures the essence of a good 2000s rom-com, and it just gives me all the nostalgic feels, and I love Liz and Wes, like literally my babies. So I hope to read this in April, so I'm going to add this to my TBR. Our second book pick for April, an indie published book. Okay, I think I literally got this prompt like last month as well, and for that I did pick Rules in Love, but I kind of don't want to like put too many books that I included in last month's TBR onto this month, so I may not go with Rules in Love, but this would have fitted the prompt perfectly. But I'm pretty sure I've got some other indie published books, so I'm gonna have a look on my bookshelf and I'll be back. So for this prompt, I think I'm gonna go with When I Come Home by Maisie Myers, which is also on my 26 books I want to read in 2026. So I'm gonna read the back of the book for you guys. I left a trail of burned bridges, broken trust and shattered hearts behind me when I left my small town of Tupelo 6 years ago to chase fame and glittering lights in Hollywood, but now I'm back. And though the town still looks the same as it always did, everything about my home is different now. People stare but never speak to me, and my old friends don't know what to say anymore. Then there's him, Cole Mazarik, the mechanic with oil on his hands and a new girlfriend hanging off his arm. The boy from my past who I haven't stopped thinking about since the day I left. He hates me most of all. Can I ever make him forgive me, or will I only make the same mistakes and tear him apart all over again? It is a small town romance, and from the sounds of it, it also sounds like it is a second chance romance, and it is book 1 in a series, which is the Pine Ridge Farm series as well. It's kind of giving me a little bit of a similar emotional vibe to The Truth About Love by Maisie Myers as well. I loved that book. That's like a 5-star book of mine, so I'm really excited to read this one, so hopefully we get to this one in April. Okay, our third book is a book with a red cover. So for this prompt, I've decided to go with Divergent by Veronica Roth, also on my 26 books I want to read in 2026. And you might be able to see I do have a little bookmark in here because I started reading this back, I think in maybe November of last year, and I soft DNF'd it at the time. I got literally halfway through, like exactly halfway through, and then I kind of got a little bit bored, but I loved the movies and I have actually never read the books, so I really do want to actually properly give this another go and hopefully finish it. And I've also got the other 2 books in the series as well, so I really want to just like continue the entire series, but fingers crossed, we'll see. I'm gonna add Divergent by Veronica Roth onto the TBR and we're gonna give it a second chance. Okay, book number 4 is a book with 300 pages or less. This is great. I actually had this prompt I think last month as well. Really need to refresh my prompts, I think, but let's see what I've got on here that could be meeting that prompt. I feel like this might be 300 pages or less, so I'm just gonna have a look. Oh, I think it is. It is 268 pages long, and this is kind of a book that I've been putting off. And honestly, if I got to the end of the year and this book was still on my TBR, I would have probably unhauled it. So maybe it's a good time for me to actually give this book a chance. That is Happenstance by Tessa Bailey. I personally haven't really heard anything really about this book. It's been on my TBR for a very, very long time. I think it's essentially like a why choose trope. I don't think I've ever read a book with that trope, and I don't really think it's a trope for me, but we're trying something new. So I'm going to read the back of the book. 1 commitment phobic woman, 3 smitten suitors. Can I make it any more obvious? Elise is already having a bad day when she finds herself stuck on a cable car with 3 strangers who couldn't be more different. An uptight rugby coach, a construction worker, and a former adult film star she pretends not to recognize a little too well. Spicy. At first, Elise wants nothing more than to be rescued ASAP. An hour later, everything has changed by pure happenstance. Their 4 separate journeys have collided in an intense, meaningful way. Before long, the 3 men find themselves working together to win Elise over forever. Good thing Elise is too busy proving herself at work to consider having a boyfriend, let alone 3. Even if they do make her feel things she's never felt before. Okay, so why choose forced proximity? Sounds very, very spicy, which is usually the case with Tessa Bailey books. For me, I feel like Tessa Bailey's books are very hit or miss. There are ones that I've really, really loved, and there's ones that I've literally rated like 2 stars. So we'll see how this one goes. I'm very intrigued by it, especially because I just haven't read this trope before. I think we'll pick out 2 more prompts, so then we have 6 books on my April TBR. 5th reading prompt is a book written by 2 authors. My brain straight away goes through to Christina Lauren because, fun fact, I thought that Christina Lauren was one person. No, it's 2 people named Christina and Lauren. So I think that might be the only one where I've got like a book written by 2 authors, but I'll have a look to see if there's anything else. I've checked my bookshelf and I literally only have Christina Lauren as 2 authors. I do have another book that is written by 2 authors, but it's a Christmas book and I definitely do not want to be reading a Christmas book in April. So I'm actually going to go with a reread. I don't know why. I've just kind of been like wanting to get into doing more rereads of books that I've liked, and I have decided to put The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren to my TBR. I read this, I think, back in 2021, and it's set in Hawaii, and honestly, yes, we are going into autumn, but I kind of want a little bit of a tropical summer sort of book just to get into the mood. And this is also an enemies to lovers, and yeah, they're stuck on a vacation pretending to be married. So it's also fake dating, fake marriage, marriage of convenience. Well, it's not marriage of convenience actually, because they're not actually married, they're just pretending to be married, so then they can go on Olive, our FMC's sister's honeymoon, because her and her husband have, I think, like they've got food poisoning after the wedding and everyone else has got food poisoning after the wedding except for Olive and the best man, I think. I can't really remember. It's been so long since I've read the book, but when I looked on the bookshelf, I was like, oh, I kind of actually want to reread this by Christina Lauren. So yeah, we're gonna add The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren for this prompt. This is going to be our last reading prompt for April, so I hope it's going to be a good one. Okay, for this prompt, a book starting with the first letter of the month. I love this prompt. Obviously April starts with an A. The first one that I looked at straight away is At the Foot of the Cherry Tree by Ali Parker. Starts with an A. The author name also starts with an A as well, so that's pretty perfect. And this book is also actually written by an Australian author. I'm sure there are other books on my TBR that also start with an A, but I think I want to add At the Foot of the Cherry Tree by Ali Parker onto my TBR. I've been saying that I want to read this for a while, so I feel like this would be a good one to add this month. It's actually based on a true story as well. Gordon Parker is an eager 18-year-old Australian boy desperate to fight for his country, and Nobuko Cherry Sakuramoto is a 16-year-old girl struggling to survive in Japan in the aftermath of World War II. But when they fall in love, they change the course of history. When Gordon arrives in Japan, he expects ruthless samurai, angry Japanese man ready to kill Australians at every corner. Instead, he finds Cherry, terrified of ex-enemy soldiers, a survivor of the atomic bomb. Against all the rules and all the odds, they fall in love. But when Gordon discovers the White Australia policy prevents Cherry coming home with him as his war bride, he does what any 20-year-old soldier would do. He vows to fight. Leaving Cherry alone and pregnant in post-war Japan, Gordon has to convince his family to accept his marriage and wage a desperate campaign against the xenophobic and war-scarred government to allow his wife and children to come home. A sweeping story spanning 7 years and 2 countries, reeling from the aftermath of war. At the Foot of the Cherry Tree is a powerfully moving novel about faith, trust, and the power of a love that alters history, written by Gordon and Cherry's granddaughter, accomplished scriptwriter Ali Parker. I love that this story is literally inspired by the author's grandparents. I think that is so beautiful. Honestly, this book, I'm so excited to read it. I'm really hoping to prioritize this read in April, because the fact that this is literally inspired by the author's grandparents just is so special. Like, just based on the back of the book, like, this love story just sounds so beautiful, but also like so sad at the same time as well. That is the last book that we are going to be adding to my April TBR. So we do have a nice stack of 6 books that we are hoping to read in April. Am I actually going to read all 6 of these books in April? I have no idea. I do have the tendency to be a little bit of a mood reader at sometimes, and I also do really want to make a library trip in April as well, so I might pick out some library books to read. So we'll see how we go, but let's do a little bit of a recap and tell you guys all 6 books that we are officially adding to my April TBR thanks to my TBR jar. So for a book, starting with the first letter of the month, which is A for April, we have got At the Foot of the Cherry Tree by Ali Parker. For a book written by 2 authors, we've got The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, which will also be a reread for me. For a book with 300 pages or less, we have got Happenstance by Tessa Bailey. For a book with a red cover, we've got Divergent by Veronica Roth, my second chance book. For an indie published book, we've got When I Come Home by Maisie Myers. And for a book that was added onto a previous TBR, aka last month's TBR, we've got Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. I'm pretty happy with the books that we've added on to my April TBR. We've got a book that I literally wanted to get to last month. We've got a book that I'm giving a second chance that I DNF'd. We've got a trope that I've never read before, a reread. So I think we've got a really good stack of books here. So yeah, I'm really excited to get to these hopefully in April, and of course you guys will have to stick around for my April reading wrap up to see which of these I get to and my thoughts on them. And I will definitely be posting my March reading wrap up in the next couple of days as well. But if you guys enjoyed watching this video, please give this video a huge thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below what is on your April TBR and which books you guys want me to prioritize the most. I'm definitely thinking of prioritizing At the Foot of the Cherry Tree the most. And yeah, I will see you guys all in my next video, which will be my March reading wrap up. Bye!